Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to today's webinar. I am Mrs. Ananya De, School Counselor, Billa High School, Mukundapur. The parents, this webinar has been arranged keeping in mind the difficulties which children are facing due to the present scenario. We all know children are going through ups and downs, the emotional difficulties. So we are going to highlight how these difficulties can be managed so that we can deal with our children accordingly. Dear parents, towards the end of the webinar, we are going to have the question answer round where we would be addressing as many questions as we can. So we would like you all to please put in your questions in the chat box. Thank you.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I am Ms. Arshia Rosalind, Counselor, Billa High School, Mukundapur. So we are here today and we welcome you to today's webinar, How to Manage My Child's Emotions. And together with Mrs. Day, we will talk and we will learn about the management, about the problems, the causes, and the different techniques we can administer. Emotions. Emotions are what regulates behavior. Emotions are of various kinds. There are 6 basic emotions. We have happiness, we have anger, we have sadness, we have fear, we have disgust, and we have surprise. Now, before parents, we begin with this webinar, we would like to conduct a poll. So dear parents, you will have a question appearing on your screen, and we would kindly request all of you to participate and respond to the question so that we can further continue with the webinar. Please submit your responses, dear parents. Okay, so we have the poll results. We have 69% of parents saying that their child is facing emotional difficulties, and 31% who said no, their child is not facing any emotional difficulties. So to all those who have said no, their child is not facing emotional difficulties, we would like to congratulate you and we would like to say that your child is healthy and is depicting a very positive mental and emotional health. To all those who have said yes, their child is facing difficulties with emotions, we are here to learn about the causes and the techniques together, and we will discuss further about it. So let's begin with identifying emotions. How to identify these emotions. So you can tune into cues. By this, we mean that you can actually see and observe the body posture, the facial expressions. You know, you can begin the day with, let's see the bright and beautiful smile. You can actually begin the day by telling this to your children. You can see if they follow these emotional cues. See what and how they respond, their behavior, their overt, outward behavior response. We can also try and remember that behind every behavior, there is a feeling. So ask your children, what do you feel now? Or how do you feel? Remember, any behavior that they are portraying, it's because it's the manifestation of an emotion within. We should also encourage our children to name the feeling. What are you feeling? Sometimes we see that the child is crying, so the child may not be comfortable. But you have to let the child believe and also feel that it is necessary to name it. I feel hurt, or I feel sadness, or I feel confused, which is why I am crying. So encourage your child to name the feeling. Also, identifying feelings in others, through picture book, through storybooks, or through conversations. As and when we observe people around us, you can encourage your child to see what the other person is feeling. Maybe while watching movies also, you can actually ask, what do you think he or she is feeling? This actually broadens the emotional vocabulary of your child. Also, be a role model. If a child comes to you and tells you, I think you are upset. Are you upset? I think you're having this problem. Are you having this problem? Do not negate it. Let the child believe and feel that their opinion is being valued. Say, yes, I feel a little low. I feel a little upset. This actually helps your child identify the emotions and relate and express. Also, use the phrases like encouraging with praise, say, yes, I am there. Yes, I understand, or I am glad you shared. When your child is expressing the thought or the emotion, say, I understand, everything will be fine. Have a tone of reassurance. Also, with since our children are growing up, so 6 to 8, for them, you need to be more of a friend rather than a parent. You can use terms like, I'm here for you. I'm here for you as a friend. Let's sit and talk like friends. I am your buddy. So this gives them a sense of trust. Also, listen to your child's expression. When they're expressing something, expressing themselves, always nod and acknowledge and say, I'm glad this happened, and I'm glad you could share. You are confident to share. This makes the child feel heard. If a child is coming and trying to communicate with you, it may be verbal, it may be non-verbal. You have to observe and you have to read the signs. Moving on, let's understand, how do children actually express their emotions?
Parents, we would understand how children are expressing their emotions because there are many children who doesn't express much verbally. That is, there are children who are introvert, who will not be able to say what the child he or she is feeling. We need to understand by observing them, by observing their expressions. So as we discuss the basic emotions, let us now understand what are the different emotional expressions of these basic emotions. So first comes happiness. So happiness can be expressed through smiling, or a loud laugh, ha ha ha, when your child is smiling like this or laughing like this, or when the child is very much relaxed, sitting in a place in a relaxed posture, or speaking in an upbeat way. Like for example, maybe today he or she got a very good remark from the teacher because he could answer in the class. And so he came, the your child comes to you and say, Mama, listen, today a ma'am told me this, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. The child might not say, I'm so happy, but if the child speaks in this tone, you can make it out, yes, my child is very happy. The next is sadness, where you might see your child, having frowns on the face, or crying, or a slumped posture. Is like, when you're sitting down in a stooped posture, your head is down, you're not feeling good. Or when the tone of your voice is very low, you need to understand from there, is your child facing some difficulty, is your child sad, and then you need to intervene. Next comes fear. What are the different ways of expressing fear? Widening of our eyes, or when our heartbeat increases because of the anxiety which fear is producing within you, or deep breaths, or you're hiding yourself, or you are making yourself apart from the object which is fearful, which is giving you anxiety within yourself. Next comes anger. As we are dealing with the adolescent group, this emotion can be seen within children, and due to the present scenario, this emotion is becoming a serious concern for the parents. So, anger can be expressed by when you sweat a lot, or your face reddens, or when you shout, or hit or kick others. Like, we can see many children when they become angry, they just throw things, That is called a destructive behavior. They try to hurt themselves or they try to hurt the objects which are present around them. Next comes disgust. Every time as the children are growing, we need to respect them. We need to respect their emotions as well. There might be many things which your children are not liking. We need to respect that also. Despite of not liking any particular thing, if we force our child to do that, at that moment, the child will start showing disgust. The child will avoid eye contact with the object, which is like with which the child is getting irritated, or the child is physically cringing, taking him or herself away from that object, which is creating disgust within him or her, or avoiding eye contact and wrinkling of the nose. That shows that I'm not liking this thing. Please don't force me to do this. So these are the basic ways of expressing emotions which you need to observe in your child, as every time your child might not be verbal in expressing the emotion. Moving on, we are going to now discuss about the digital behavior as our children are attending classes virtually. So let us see what happens in digital behavior and why children misbehave.
Our communications are now restricted to using digital media, and physical and virtual behavior and emotions and cues change massively. So we have to first ask ourselves, why do students misbehave? And what do we understand by this misbehavior sometimes? So, students can actually go through different phases, different rough patches. They may have issues expressing themselves. A student needs to have comfort in a digital presence. It includes the dimension of the chair and table. Like currently, we are sitting in a chair and table format, not on the bed or not on the sofa or not relaxing. The distance from the device. Sometimes a student has a device too close to the subject, sometimes the device is too far. So, using a proper and correct device is necessary because that will make sure that the student is comfortably listening and is visible to all the teachers. Also, keeping in mind that the student dresses properly. The more well dressed you are, the better you feel from within. You feel a confidence coming, and that confidence helps in letting this digital behavior move forward. Also, provide a back support to your child. If the child is sitting for without a support, without a proper support of the back, the chair support, a chair provides a support. So if there is no chair, make sure there's other forms of back support used. Sometimes the child may be going through some family crisis. So you can actually be more participative in your child's daily life by using flashcards. Maybe you are a working parent and you have to leave early in the morning. So you can actually write down, use post-its, write down, have a good day. Or maybe you can write down, I hope your classes go well. You can do it. These phrases help them believe that they are getting the attention, you are giving the attention. And even if you have work, you are still being there, a part of their life. You're there participating in their activity. So let the child know that you're there. Also, the child may have this need to impress others. So this comes because they always need a validation. So sometimes what happens in class, we see that the child, it is possible that the child is like, Mom, I want to say, Mom, I want to say, Mom, me, the same child. So it is because they do not understand opportunities should be given to others. Now we practice this in class. We say, use the chat box, or if they answer something, when they write in the chat box, we actually say it out loud and we actually use a very nice way of complimenting, giving a positive feedback. I am very happy that you shared it with me. Or see, I have such intelligent students. So similarly, at home, this too has to be practiced. You have to give them little positive feedbacks to believe that you are impressed by them. So this will have the sense of the self-worth, it goes high. You have to motivate your child. Sometimes they lack motivation, they get bored or the willpower. So they lack interest. So you have to let them know that, this, you should enjoy your work. Instead of being that this is a stress related academics schedule, have them inculcate this behavior that this is actually work, this is fun. You should enjoy your work. There are different fun activities being implemented by the teachers. There are different assignments. You're learning something innovative. Your curiosity is being dealt with. So many questions. You are learning how to be independent. You're self-reliant. You have learned so many different apps. You have learned so many different working protocols. You have learned so many different topics. Motivate them from home also. Let them know that their work is fun, that their school is fun. As this is an interactive process, we should make sure that we work on the confidence of the child. We should make sure that we tell the child, you can do it. It is okay if you did not get it right the first time, try again. We do different topics in life skill classes about effort, about trying again, about trying to share again, but not giving up. So I think since it's an interactive process, we can do the same at home and we can actually be implementing it in school too. From digital behavior, let's move on to the reactions that we get, the responses that we get from students. So there are positive and negative emotions, and we have sadness, we have fear, we have anger, and we have jealousy, envious kids. Also, we have this positive emotion, which is happiness. So, all these negative emotions, there's a very common way of depicting it. That is aggression. And let's look forward to how we can actually channelize this aggression into a happy emotion and a happy response.
So, what basically aggression is? Aggression comes out of anger. We need to make our children understand it is fine to get angry, as anger is an emotion, it is okay to be angry. But you need to know how to control or manage your anger. So, aggression is a behavioral manifestation which comes out of anger. It can be both physical as well as mental. So, in this behavioral manifestation, the child may hurt himself or herself, or the child might be destructive towards others or property. So, we need to make the child understand that, okay, you're angry, fine, take time out, relax yourself, and these are the ways you need to manage or control your anger. Before we move on to the causes and what can we do to control our anger, let us have the second poll of the day. So parents, again a question is going to pop up on your screen. We would like all of you to participate. Here we go. Kindly submit your responses. Let us wait till other parents submit their response, and yes, we have the results. So 56% of the parents think yes, their children are showing aggressive behavior, and 44% think no, their children are not showing aggressive behavior. So yes, 44% parents, you're on the right track. Your parenting is going on well, but the ones who think that their child is aggressive, please don't be sad. You are also on the right track. The children are vulnerable. You never know which emotion is going to hit them. So today maybe they are okay, fine. Tomorrow or after a month, they might portray those aggressive behavior or they might show anger. So what are the different causes of this anger? Let us find it out. And let me just share the screen and yeah, there we go. What are the different causes of aggression? If we see that, if we consider today's scenario, everybody is stressed, everybody is struggling. The present condition around us is making us struggle. So we do agree the stress level of parents are going higher up day by day. They have to cater to their household needs, the needs of their children, their job, and all these things are increasing their stress level. So once the parents is stressed, the parent might get irritated, and that might cause the parent aggressive, and that aggression is getting displaced on your child. If you are showing aggression towards your child, the child will think it is okay to behave like this as my parents are behaving in the same way, so let me also behave in the same way with my friends or with others in the family. What can be the other cause? There are many families where we have got records that yes, the parents are, one of the spouses are getting protected to family violence, and if the child gets exposed to such violence, again the child thinks this is normal when it is happening within the family, so I need to consider this as normal. Okay, I can also portray this behavior onto others. Next, if we can see, as children cannot go out, uh, their movement has been restricted. Even they cannot go out to buy a packet of chips, which they used to do before. So this restricted mobility is causing too much irritation within them. They cannot go out to play. They cannot have fun with their friends during the weekend. So all these irritation is causing a lot of aggression within them. As discussed, social and physical activities, they all are getting limited day by day, causing aggression. Exposure to violence in media, when as screen time is increasing, when children cannot go out and they're sitting in front of the screen, they are viewing different videos, right? So these different videos might be of aggression, and that is again getting portrayed within the child, because children imitate very quickly. Adolescents, they also think, okay, so as this message is being given through the social media, then maybe we can also portray this behavior. And we need to understand that whatever the age of the child is, we have to listen to them. We have to whatever expressions they are showing, whatever they're trying to say, be patient and listen. Once the child thinks or feels, my parents are not listening to me, they are too much busy with their work, so whenever they are unable to express their thoughts, that is causing aggression within them. So parents' attitude is very much important as at home. The way you behave with your child, the way you deal with your child, the child is going to reciprocate the same. Now let us go and understand what the measures can be taken to deal with aggression.
As parents, we can try promoting healthy environment for our children. So make sure that if your child is wanting something, desires something, you don't actually keep on saying yes to the child. You have to start by saying a no. And there is a way of how you say no. So communication is very important, where you make your child feel that the decision comes from the child and it's not being imposed upon them. So start your sentence with, do you think you need this? Do you think you can try to do this instead of this particular work? So it causes them to have this decision making. It's a decision making exercise also. Plus, it does not negate their feeling and emotions. And it is an indirect no. Sometimes you have to say a direct no, and this makes them more receptive towards that no. So you promote a healthy interaction and a healthy environment for the children, engaging them in interactive activity. So maybe you talk or you sit together and plan a family time, plan something where you can decorate your houses, or you can decorate each other's work, or you maybe take interest in, acha, explain me this topic. Okay, today you did this topic. So what did you understand from this topic? So, okay, how do you think you're going to implement this topic? So this makes them feel that they have the knowledge and they are sharing the knowledge with you. So you're giving them importance. then you can actually try the timeout strategy. So when you see that they are getting too aggressive, tell them to take deep breaths, practice the breathing exercise, and take a timeout. Take 10 minutes break from all the work, sit down, count from 1 to 100 in the slowest way possible, and try and relax. So this helps them to apply this timeout strategy and therefore calm their muscles and calm their tension and their anxiety with it. We can also make sure that they keep regular routines and too much change is not implemented, because once they see too many activities or too many changes, it's hard for them to adapt and therefore they act out. So as parents, we have to give them some kind of stability. Also, we have to make sure that they are not prone to too much of negative news. So they should be aware of what is happening around. Also, give them an assurance by saying it will soon be better. When you say it will soon be better, so there is this hope. And hope is a very important feeling. If you have faith and if you have hope, it drives your behavior towards positivity. And also, if you see that it is still becoming quite difficult to handle the child and the behavior is very unusual, then we would request you to talk to a professional. You can talk to the counselors in school. You can inform the coordinators. You can inform the class teachers, and we will help and we will make sure that your child's best interest is at play. Moving on, let's learn about how to utilize the excessive energy that the children have.
So parents, I keep on getting calls where parents are saying, "Ma'am, my ward is not at all concentrating." When I ask them to sit for studies, first of all, my daughter or son, he's so big. Why do I have to tell? Please sit down for your studies. And still, if they do, after 10 minutes, okay, I just need to go to the washroom. I'll just have a water break, or they're not concentrating at all. And I'm getting informations like the sleep pattern is also getting disturbed. So what can be the reason behind it? It is because the excessive energy which a child is restoring within himself or herself. So what can be the causes of this excessive energy within a child? The first and the foremost cause is improper diet. We all love junk food, right? Most of us do. So children also love junk food, and if you tell them, "Do you want to eat a burger today?" you will not be hearing a no from them. But you need to keep a control on it. Do not give them junk food more often, because they're high in calorie, and high in calorie will in turn will increase their energy level. As we already discussed, physical activities as they have been restricted. So a child is, cannot vent out that excessive energy from them. So what to do? That is why that energy is not getting channelized, which is disturbing their sleep pattern and for which they are unable to concentrate. Food items which contains excessive sugar and salt, that is also a cause of excessive energy. Research proves that. So now, as parents, what we can do at home to deal with it? So there are different techniques which we can apply at home. So in our life skill classes also, we do keep on telling children how to share responsibilities at home, what to do, how to help their parents out. As they are big children, they know a sense of responsibility is growing within them. So number one is the household chores. See, as most of the houses are still not having any maids, so you're juggling between your housework, your children's work, everything. So why not share all the duties? So ask your child, okay, today I will be laundering the clothes. You need to just fold it up and keep it in place. Or okay, the sabji wala is down. Just go and get the sabjis from them, from the vendor. Or you can ask your child, okay, you can water the plants. So these are the techniques by which you can engage your child. We need to keep in mind the child should not sit idle. Once a child is sitting idle, he or she is not moving, and hence the energy is getting restored. It cannot vent out. Next, which we can see, games with Lego. Children love playing Lego games, Lego Meccano, which we call. So you will find it, if you can go online, you can buy it online, and you can ask your child, okay, today let us sit, when you're having this family time, let us sit together and play the game of Lego. Let us see who finishes it first, who makes a better design. What can be the other techniques? Yoga, exercise, and healthy food habits. So if you avoid junk, too much of sugar and salt, and if you proper a balanced diet, I'm sure the excessive energy, it will not get accumulated much. And then yoga and exercises, our students, they perform yoga in school virtually as well. They have their yoga classes. So why not ask your child, okay, come on, show me the postures which you have learned today. I will also learn it from you, and let us do yoga together. Now let us find out what are the other techniques through which we can help our children to vent out the excessive energy.
Before we move on, it's a gentle reminder to all the parents that you can post your questions in the chat box and we will answer it post the presentation. Coming back to the presentation, techniques which parents can also apply at home. Music, art, and dance. These are very soothing. These are very soothing activities. They are healing activities. So if you see your child has excess energy, play some music. Let the child listen to the music. It calms them down. It can work as a therapy. Also, you can use dance. You can actually let them vent that energy out. So they can actually dance with it. And, you can also break a leg with them. And art, colors reflect your emotions. So let them use bright colors. Sometimes when they're growing up 6 to 8, class 3 to 5 still has that childhood touch with them, where they are actually prone to drawing rainbows and butterflies. But 6 to 8, they express. I have seen artworks. It's miraculous that they are so talented, and I see that they creatively use colors. But sometimes you can just ask them to draw something from KG, something from class 1. That is a butterfly or a simple flower. This instills that calming effect, and it also gives out a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy, and parents can also sit together with the child to do these activities. Then we have prepare a snack. So we all know about healthy food habits. So how do you make them participate in this? You make them implement these strategies at home. So tell them that, okay, today evening snacks is by so and so, by the child. And just make sure that they are not using any hazardous equipment. So they can make salads and they can make sandwiches, and I can assure you they are tasty. Me being a food lover, I have shifted to healthy food habits, and I love salads and I love sandwiches, and they can be so innovative. So you can actually make them do something creative, and also they are doing a very positive activity, and in turn releasing that energy. Remember one thing, parents, make sure you provide them with a positive feedback or a compliment. Say, okay, this is really nice. This tastes really good. So, okay, once in a week, you if you want to, you can prepare a snack for us. So this, gives them a positive goal to be responsible, to have that, to inculcate the teachings of responsibility. Moving on, we have indoor sports or origami. It will be innovative. It will make sure that your child is interested, because you're giving them a new stimulus altogether to respond to. Or you can use chess or other board games, and you can also have origami. So any sheet of paper, the minute the child is actually concentrating, using neuromotor, that is, your brain is sending the signals, and your hand, your muscular movement, you're doing it. So the holding the paper, folding the paper, making a triangle with it. We teach this in class. All these things are taught. Even in life skill class, we do origami with them and they get so excited. So imagine doing these origamis at home too. And fourthly, you can use these energy to reorganize your furniture or use it as decors. So, they have art and craft classes, and they make so lovely pen stands and, frames, photo frames. You actually use it as a decor. You proudly hang it on your walls and use the origamis as, welcome notes, or the welcome, or the way you greet a person. And you can actually take that energy, say, okay, let's do one thing, let's reorganize the living room and push the sofa aside, make sure the table is on the other side. At least this makes them that they have done something productive. Also, all the pent up energy, it's released. So these techniques can be applied at home. And next, let's move on to something very important, that is parents as individuals. Before being parents, you also have a role and you have a responsibility towards self, which is you. You are important to you too. So, as parents, you should check your aggression, your anxiety level. You should try and practice the breathing exercises too. Self care is very, very important in regulating your emotions. Sometimes, if you're being unable to fall asleep, use meditative music, listen to it, switch it off, and then you can fall asleep. This releases a lot of endorphins, and they enable us to have a very good sleep and very good regulation of emotions. Also, another technique that you can apply is voice modulation. I can talk to you all like this and be very loud, or I can actually talk to you like this. I don't have to be loud, you can still hear me. So the minute I'm modulating my pitch, the expression and the behavior I'm portraying changes. I'm being very polite and I'm saying, thank you so much. This shows excitement. And if I say thank you so much, this shows gratitude. Both are positive, but the voice modulation techniques helps in identifying these emotions. Remember, if you're patient in 1 minute of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrows. And if required, take a break. Take the 10 minutes time, take the time out strategy for yourself too.
Parents, we know we all are struggling, and I'm sure if we all are united, if we cooperate with each other, we will be able to overcome the situation. So before I end, a small request for all of you. Before you go to sleep, you can practice this, and you can ask your child as well to practice this. The three sentences, just three sentences, say it in your mind before you go to sleep. I am strong, I can achieve anything. I am proud of myself. I have done my best today. So just these three sentences will help you get motivated along with your child. So with this, we come to the end of the webinar. Thank you for your cooperation. We welcome your questions.
Good evening, parents. So, here we have a volley of questions in the chat box. Now, to start off with, my child does not want to move out of the house, not even to the garden. Even when in the car, she's scared when the speedometer reaches 60. This was not there before pandemic. She's staying glued to her books and dolls. How to make a difference?
Okay, I would like to answer this question. Um, yes, pandemic has been hard on the children as well. As the child has, the habit of getting out is not in the child anymore because of the restriction of staying at home. The child is developing the fear within herself. So when the child is calm, relaxed, make the child understand, see, things are getting normal or will get normal day by day. And we all are going out, we all have to follow the normal routine. So you also have to come out along with us. Try to take your child during the weekends as much as you can with all safety measures, at least for a ride. And children, once they get habituated, this fear will go out from within, because the child will see, okay, nothing is happening, my mama is fine, papa is fine, I can go out for a ride, I can move out, nothing is going to happen. Reassure the child, I am with you, nothing is going to happen to you. So I'm sure with this, once the child gets habituated, try to make it a routine. Every weekend, take the child out so that this fear of going out, not going out, or fear of getting into the car will slowly decrease. It might take time, but you have to deal it patiently. I
Thank
hope
you,
I could
ma'am.
answer this.
So we have another question here which says that, ma'am, my son is more into phone games and YouTube videos. So he does not show much interest in the subjects. So please suggest what to do.
Sure, ma'am. I would like to answer this question. The first and foremost question you should place to your children is, what is that interesting point about this YouTube video? We have to talk to the child knowing that we are interested in what they are seeing. So ask them, why is it that you find this interesting? And then you let them know that how the subject actually shows the same amount, same concept, the same context, but in a different format. So if you see a child is too much into video games, just say, okay, what do you like about this? Say, for example, the answer is, I love the speed, I love the graphics. And surely as adults, we also appreciate the graphic work that's being done. So, say it's a positive, yes, lovely graphics. And then try to narrate your own experience. When we were your age, we would do this. Do you want to try drawing it maybe? So the minute you say this and you sit with the child to draw it, the child is having neuromotor activity, also sensory activity. So this will help him to create something that he has watched on paper. Again, moving out from the digital world to the physical world. So I think baby steps, you understand his language and he understands yours. So it's a reciprocative technique. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Most of the parents, at least 10 of them, have got the same problem, that their wards are busy playing with the electronic devices rather than studying.
I would like to answer this. Can we blame the children totally for this? I think we cannot. We are exposing them to this digital world, and we are telling them, okay, I have this work to do. Maybe just play for some time. But you have to make a schedule. If you are playing for 10 minutes, now next 1 hour you need to study. Positive reinforcement. Reward them. Not big rewards always. Words of praise are going to help at this age. Be supportive. If you always keep on saying don't play, don't play, don't play, they are not going to listen. If we keep the age of the child in mind. So you have to make a schedule: 10 minutes of play, 1 hour of study, 10 minutes of break, again 10 minutes of play, then again 1 hour of study. If you don't study for this 1 hour, I'm sorry, this 10 minutes of play, I have to take it from you. If you do this, I am going to allow you to do that. So this give and take this condition has to be made, because they are not young children that you will force something to them. You have to make a condition where your child understand, okay, if I do this, then only my parents are going to allow me to do play games or something like that. And engage them in the household activities more. Give them big responsibilities, obviously according to their age. Give them, so that they do not get the time to, if they are engaging themselves in video games or mobiles for 1 hour, that can be curtailed to half an hour. Slowly it can be done within a fortnight. We cannot just take it away.
I would
Thank
also
you,
like to
ma'am.
add to this an example about what happens in our classes. So with the older children, this topic, so we did this topic called dreams. What do you want to be? And you can actually talk to them when you see that the behavior from the studies, the interest is lacking behind. Just remind them and have a discussion. What do you want to be when you grow up? And show them some examples of what this person did in your field, what has this person achieved, how did they achieve it. Just let it be, let the idea be out there, and you will actually see a positive behavior coming from them. So we had discussed this topic, what do we aspire to become, and slowly I try to make sure that their attendance increases in the class, like school class. And I told them, so, if we actually use these techniques, we will learn about it in the next class. And it will help you to be what you want to be. Some wanted to be a pilot, some wanted to be in the IAS, some in NASA. Such high dreams. And we're like, this will help you. So let's see if you attend. I will give you all these fun techniques. And actually it worked. There was a full attendance except for 2 to 3 people due to health issues. There was a full attendance. So you can actually sometimes take a step back, remind them what are your goals, and then again direct that behavior as Mrs. Day has mentioned.
Thank you, ma'am. This, I think, from one of the, I think must be class 7 or 8 parents must have asked this. Does mood swings pertain to the onset of puberty? Heard that puberty comes early nowadays.
Yes, ma'am, I would like to answer this question. Mood swings and change of behavior is another uh, response to puberty, because with puberty there's a change, there is also release of hormones, and there's a lot of confusion. A child goes through understanding body. This is when you should inculcate body positivity. You should actually compliment your child. If the child, sometimes if you have a girl child, they may say, Mama, I think I don't feel good. Say it is okay. Tell me, what is it that you don't feel good about? And tell them it is okay. We go through this change and we should understand it. Okay, if you're being aggressive, let's calm down, let's sit and discuss. Like during the presentation, we mentioned, be buddies. I am your buddy. I'm there for you. This is your way of being there for them because they are going through hormonal, behavioral, and other emotional changes. So there, the perspective also changes. And you narrate them your own stories. You provide them that comfort. Sometimes you can use, for mood swings, what you can use, you have sponge balls, okay? So you can give them sponge balls and you can ask them to relax, to make sure that their muscles are relaxed. Because the more the muscles are relaxed, the more the emotional or the mood is balanced. So you can try that technique.
Thank you, ma'am. There's another question. This also must be from the senior classes, that lately my ward is staying inside his room for long hours.
I would like to answer this question. So children, they are growing up, they're going into their adolescence. We must respect their privacy. We also want some me time. There are times where we love to stay alone in the room. So your child will also do the same. We need to respect that. And along with that, we need to find out also what the child, obviously you will not barge into the room without knocking. Nobody will like that. So just keep a watch on your child's behavior, how the child is behaving, or whether the child, when you are having a healthy communication, whether the child is saying something which you should catch right away at that moment. And another option, which you can have a no lock system for the entire house. If you do not have a lock for your child's room, the door lock, then you should not have it for the entire house. Do not just make it for the child's room. It will, obviously your child will not feel good. It will, their self-esteem decreases with that. Your child starts feeling, I'm also an individual, I also need respect, my parents are not giving me that. Do not make your child feel that. Give some time, respect their privacy. Thank you.
There's another, ma'am, Mrs. Sengupta, do you want to add anything to this?
Yes, good evening, everybody. After a very, very long time, I think we are seeing each other. Let me tell you, as a parent of a child, of course, I mean, he's not a child anymore, he's a young man now. But let me share my own experience. And I think all of you by now know that parenting is a very, very challenging job, right? There are times when you really have, moments of self-doubt and whether you're doing the right thing or not. But I think in our heart of hearts, all of us know exactly what is right for our children. Of course, there is professional help, there are teachers, there are counselors, all of it. But we know. But sometimes because of our own commitments, because of our own, problems, we try and find an easier way out. And that's where we go wrong in parenting, right? I think in heart of hearts, we all know how to tackle our own child with a little help from teachers, with a little help from the school counselors, maybe. So there are certain things I think which we've talked about today, respecting the child for being an individual. I think too many of us make that mistake, that we think that they are children, so they are not, they must do what I say, or they have to be what I want them to be. Please remember, we cannot control our children's destiny. We can guide them, we can be there for them, we can reassure them. So that balance between being a strict parent and being a lenient one, both are incorrect, of course. You all know that, right? So that balance is very difficult to achieve. But like I keep saying, we all know it, how to achieve it. And it requires a lot of effort on our part. It's not very easy, but I would request you all to, ensure that we are able to do that for the sake of our children. One thing, because I'm talking and I wouldn't want to interrupt again, for class 3 parents, there's one thing that we have noticed is that, you need to make your child a little independent of you. I know it is very difficult for you. You think that, if I'm not sitting with him or her, he will or she will not be able to do his or her best. But remember, this is just a particular class, a class 3. The child is maybe 8, 9, whatever, right? So we have to make the child independent of us. So if you're sitting next to the child and prompting the child, it is not serving any purpose. And again, to a class 7 or 8 child, the parent, I would say that please don't leave that child on his or her own. Very often we hear from parents that I don't even know what he's doing. Please be involved. You must be in the know as to what are the child's likes, dislikes, what he's doing. Have an open conversation with the child from time to time. I know they don't want to talk sometimes. They shut themselves, they shut you out, and that's very, very natural. Think back of your own childhood when you were that old. Of course, times have changed and things have become very different from when you were children, when I was a child, right? But emotions are still the same. Some of us didn't have the courage to say certain things to our parents, but these children perhaps have more courage, or we have given them more liberties, right? So think back and think of the emotional needs of your child. Those have to be fulfilled, but of course, don't go overboard. Strike that balance. Thank you. I think we can carry on.
Thank you, ma'am. I think, like the last signature statement should be that we need to be buddies of our children, isn't it? So then only they will open up and they will, talk about their problem, and then as true friends, you can sort it out. Having said that, let me go to the next question. Many of you have written that your children, they don't want to write. They want to say, but they do not want to write. And in school, definitely we have, written assessment. Of course, we do have orals, but a written assessment is there. So how to go about with it? Children, they don't want to write. That's what the parents are saying.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to answer this. Sometimes you have to explain your child the importance of verbal and non-verbal communication, which we keep mentioning. If we all unmute ourselves and if we all start talking, we won't be able to hear each other. Will we be able to hear each other? No. Sometimes the sound cracks, sometimes the voice cracks. But when you write down that particular emotion, you are actually writing down each word and the teacher is reading it out loud. So same in an examination schedule. So in an examination, if you're actually saying it out orally, And if your network, if there is an issue, some words may skip. So once they skip, it might be difficult for a teacher to assess it. So which is why we encourage them to write it down. Similarly, when you tell them about the assessment, you also have to tell them about the importance of using the chat box, so that it is there, so that we can communicate. All of us equally gets a chance. We can all get a chance to speak. Today, if I speak and I alone speak, everyone would like to share. I may have 10 children who would like to share. Ma'am, I want to say something. Why we have this option even here, where we can say, we can give a thumbs up or where we raise our hands. So this emotions and the reactions we have here digitally, this is to enable the child to take permission. You cannot unmute yourself and keep saying, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. In that way, neither the teacher nor the students can interact. So it is the same for assessment, same for classes. More of non-verbal communication. Thank you.
Ma'am, I would like to add over here, we need to make the children understand the importance of writing. So, last week I was having a class. So what I basically do, I just take a topic, we discuss, we watch videos. I'm sure your children must be telling you at home. And then we write down the important points which we have gathered from the particular topic. So one of the students, he asked me, ma'am, why are we writing? We can only discuss, we can only watch the stories and all. So that time I explained them the importance of writing. Number one, your speed will increase, your spellings. You will make less mistakes. Number three, your handwriting will be good. So if you have all these things in your writing, it will project, as when your teacher gets your writing with good handwriting, legible, uh, your teacher gets, okay, spelling mistakes are very less, or a good impression of your is being portrayed on your teacher, and you will also feel good from within. So I also gave an example, like when I was doing my MSc. So MSc, notes are very, very big. Still I used to write, and they said, oh, acha ma'am, okay, okay, okay. So in this way, you need to make the child understand the importance of writing. Thank you.
Thank you. So this also, I think, is from 6, 7, and 8. That long hours in front of the computer, especially internet, definitely can lead my child to visit unwanted sites. So how can we deal with this?
Yes, ma'am. As I would like to answer this. So the long hours that we have, firstly, I would suggest it is a 1 hour class, but basically the class timing is 45 minutes, out of which we keep 10 minutes for communication. We do different exercises. We do eye exercises, stretching exercises, neck exercises in between. So class time, the subject time is 30 minutes. And we also have all these different things that we practice in the senior classes too. So when you see long hours and we have break times, we give them short breaks. They have short breaks. So ma'am, I think to answer your question fairly, it may achieve as long hours, but they are having exercises. Apart from these classroom exercises, you can also do the similar. You can actually have these eye exercises, very normal, rotate your eyes, look up, look down, and you can also make them stretch. Like these points we have mentioned before, yoga and exercises, it helps with the muscles. So I would like to, I hope I could answer your question that in front of the, when you are sitting down in digital behavior, like I mentioned, the device should not be too close to you. If it is too close to the child, it will cause and hamper the eyesight. You have to make sure that the device is at least at 1.5 arm distance. Currently, that is what as protocols we teachers maintain, and we also encourage our students to maintain it. So I think I've answered. I hope this answered.
I would add over here the second part. As parent is concerned, the child is moving on to the unwanted sites and all. So yes, as children are going towards the adolescence, they are curious, and it is very obvious their curiosity will increase day by day. And when they are doing these projects and research works, they have to visit the different sites and get the informations. regarding their project. So there may be ad which will pop up. So if you find from the search history that your child is too much going to those sites and watching them or viewing them, sit with your child when you're having a family time and make them understand with the proper content. First and foremost, please do not be rude towards your child. Do not ask, why did you visit that site? It is not a good site. You should never do this. Please do not do this, because this behavior is not going to answer the question which your child is having in your mind. And your child will do this next time. He will be more careful. He might delete the search history. You will never know. So, what you need to do, sit with your child, make your child understand or talk related to the topic, whatever information is needed, that much only. Not too less, not too more. You have to be very, brief, and it should be whatever they are watching, the content should be the positive one when you're explaining it to your child. Please do not be rude, but sit and explain them. I hope I could answer this, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. So there's this particular question. I think I'm going to answer that. The question is that ma'am, I would request all the subject teachers to make the students put their camera on. You see, parents, if you go to the setting section of your device, whichever device you are using, preferably you should allow the children to use the laptop. Now, when you go to the setting, there is a sleep mode duration. Most of us, what we do, we just, keep it to say about 30 seconds or maximum 2 minutes. So what happens after 2 minutes, the slide goes on a sleep mode, and so nothing is visible, only the name may be. So if, you just change it to never, so the camera will not be in the sleep mode at all. The camera will be on. Okay, and I will take this opportunity to remind all of you, because here we have parents from class 3 to class 8, that we are having our first term assessments knocking at the door. I think it's going to start from the month of September, second week, if I'm not mistaken. So the children will be divided into different rooms. They are known as assessment rooms. So each room will be having maximum 13 children. We have our cameras on. You also should see to it that you have the laptops. Those fortnight, I think the children will be having their assessment. They must have laptops, and it is easy for them to download the question paper, put it on the interface, focus the camera so the camera is on the paper where they are writing. No adults should be near the child, and they must have the scanning device. If it is the mobile device of the parent, then it must be near them, so that after the stipulated time, they need to scan it and submit. I mean, during assignments, we used to excuse them saying, okay, you can submit it in the evening when your parents are coming back from the office. But during this fortnight, during the first term assessment, dear parents, you have to cooperate with us. You have to see to it that they scan and they submit at the stipulated time, failing which we will not accept the papers. And if you have any network issue while submitting the assignment, 3 to class 5 will be posting the answer sheets to me, headmistress.m@bilahighschool.com, and the parents of class 6 to 8 will be posting it to the principal, principal.m@bilahighschool.com. So here we have the final question, which says, my son doesn't get what he's trying to say, that he is not hungry during breakfast time. So that is before 8:30. So he wants to nibble around during the class. Sir, ma'am, this is the age where we have to cultivate habits. All right. So please see to it. One day he will not have, 2 days he will not have. I think after a week he will start having. What do you say, counselors?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, habit.
Yes.
We have to, inculcate the this thing, habit.
All right. So we call it a wrap then. Thank
Now,
you
before
so
we
much.
end, we have the last poll for
Oh,
today.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
The final poll. So here we go. Come on, parents. 45 out of 65. Come on, faster, faster. I think we can finish this and watch PV Sindhu playing for the semifinals. All right. So we have 96% who felt that yes, the webinar was useful. Those 4% we will find out, we'll locate them and we'll find out, and we'll definitely take your suggestions so that next time it will be more effective. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.